going on. But this is going to be definitely well worth it. So today, what we're talking about, let me go ahead and share my screen as well. Screen share. Because I'm a little bit of a tech geek, I have like three screens. So don't mind all of them. Okay. Okay, let's see. All right, can you see the presentation? Okay, yes, yes. Full screen, clear.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay, so the conversation today is about have you ever thought about becoming a life coach? And a lot of people may not know necessarily what that is or what does it entail. We're going to cover some of that today, and then we're also going to talk about the benefits of what it can be able to bring to not only yourselves but also your community. That includes your family, your professional
But
life.
is it me or?
Oh, and then let me go ahead and mute everyone. I got some people coming in, some more people wanting to come in. Awesome. So let me add them in. Welcome, welcome. And let me go ahead and see where I can mute everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody. And then if you have any questions, I'm also monitoring the chat. So put the question in the chat as we go. All right, I think we're good to go. Okay, perfect. So here's what we're gonna, first of all, I wanna say again, thank you so much for taking the time to come out of your busy schedules to be able to be here and learn what this is all about, how you can be able to go to another level in life and business and just be able to be that one for not only ourselves but also for our others and the community that we serve. So, just a little bit to let you know about who we are and what we do. We are, the name of our company is Another Level Living Incorporated. It's a professional coaching and training company. So, we teach and certify life coaches as well as mind experts, so mental and emotional communication experts. We also do speaking engagements and coaching, consulting, training. And on the local side, because we're located on the Eastern Shore of Virginia, we are looking to be able to expand into total health coaching and relationship coaching here locally. Okay, so this is me. First of all, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a CEO of this company, and a life harmony coach, speaker, and trainer. And I do have a couple of other things, but my background is in IT. And so, one of the things that caused me to leave that whole world of IT and go into this life coaching was because I saw so much suffering and so much need and had such a passion to be able to support other people. And then even in my own journey, my husband is a Purple Heart Marine Corps veteran. He did 2 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. So not only was I a business builder at one time, I was also a caregiver. So I had also put this call out for the caregiver and the business builders because there's such a great power in coaching that can be able to help us with all areas of life, especially caregiving as well. So a couple of recent accomplishments. We had an addition, a little girl. So it was life was just so changing almost every day in 2018. In 2018, I certified more than 300 life coaches along the East Coast. I also was pregnant with her, traveled until we were 8 months pregnant. And then I also, while I was pregnant, wrote 2 books. One called Destiny Walkers about living that purpose driven life, and then one on the Voice of Hope, caregivers, inspirational untold stories of caregivers. And that was really a definitely beautiful, heart-centered project. There's another amazing author who's on that as well. So who's on this call right now. And the thing is, this is all of just examples of what's possible for just being a coach, what coaching can lead to speaking. I was also doing several speaking engagements during that time as well. So that's just an example, even for me, of what what coaching can lead us to step into our calling. So here's what we're going to talk about today: why life coaching, what is life coaching, what makes an awesome life coach, and benefits of being a life coach personally, professionally, and financially. I'm also going to end and show you about what our life coaching certification program looks like, and then we'll have some Q&A. And I'm going to ask some questions also kind of in the between this as well, because I want to see kind of where you are. I want to know kind of what led you to be able to step on this journey. So first, I guess before I even go into the presentation, let me unmute you. Hold on, we got two people waiting. Let me admit all of them. Admit all. And then I'm gonna just if you could unmute yourself and the question I have for you is, what led you to life coaching? Who wants to answer that? What led you to this idea of life coaching? What was the call that you felt? Charlene, did you have something?
Well, I've done some more specific disease type coaching, and I'm just feeling like I want to be, I guess I wanted to enhance what I already have.
Okay.
And I'm kind of looking at life coaching and doing some different things to kind of enhance some of the other certifications that I already have.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I love that. So basically to be able to kind of enhance all of your knowledge, skills, and expertise already. So beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you. Who else wants to share? What was another motivation? Who else wants to share another one? Thanks, Charlene. All right, who else?
Sure, this is Earl.
Yes.
Um, I'm here just out of general curiosity about discovering more and more about what life coaching is about. I do know several people who are life coaches in one extent or another. I do know that everyone essentially is a leader, and everyone has somebody that's looking at them or looking at someone else. So just with that concept in mind, I figured, come have a listen, see what it's all about. Why not? Sometimes you never know until you're willing to try.
I love it. Thank you so much. That was so great. Oh, perfect. So, two amazing answers. Just to kind of see what it's all about. Why not be able to try? Everybody's a leader. And how can we let people know that we don't have to have, like, for one of the whys for me is to let people know that we don't have to have a great past to have a great future. And it's up to us to be able to step into becoming the better version of ourselves the best way that we can be, and knowing that it's okay not to be okay and we don't have to be perfect, and being able to be that voice and that sounding board for people who are going through so much difficulty and turmoil, especially in this time. So thank you for those two answers. And I'm glad I prompted them before I showed you what I had, because here, like, one of the biggest reasons why life coaching, especially now, it is one of the fastest growing industries worldwide, because it doesn't just impact not just individual people, like customer to customer life coaching is happening, but business to business life coaching is happening. Businesses now more than ever need life coaches that can be able to support them in how to be able to deal with all the stuff that's going on even within their organization. Nonprofits, small business coaching, there's so many different types of life coaching that you can become, and we talk about that in the class. And the cool thing about our program is that it applies to any niche of life coaching that you would like to pursue. Now, an estimated market value for personal coaching was $955 million in 2015, and it just continued to expand from there, as compared to $707 million in 2011. And the total market for life coaching was worth 1.08 billion in 2017. So it's continuing to increase. Whereas the economy may be um, definitely going on the downturn because of everything that's happening, there's an upswing for the need of life coaching. So it's almost like, whereas it could, there's so much opportunity, especially right now, especially even after all of this situation is over. And I think that's one of the reasons why I felt that urgency and need to do this, and to step in to be of service, because there's so many of us that want to be able to be of service as well. How can we help them? How can we contribute? There was also a really interesting article where they compared training alone combined, to training combined with life coaching. And what they found was a significant increase in productivity when life coaching was involved, because of the accountability that it brought for people to be able to take those bigger actions, the expertise that the coaching would allow them to be able to tap into, seeking their own answers. It also supported them with the delivery on how they can better communicate with their clients, and they got results much faster than the other population, because coaching gets results really quickly. Another reason of what's happening now is what's happening in our world. So this slide I had done before this epidemic, but this epidemic would be right on this list. There's so many significant emotional events that are happening to people and in their worlds: natural disasters, terrorist attacks, attacks of division, the opioid crisis, the crime and violence increasing everywhere. Well, all of these things are happening. What if these, like everyone that was affected by these things, had someone to be able to support them in getting through, someone to be able to listen to them and allow them to be able to express what's going on, lean into what's going on, letting go of what they have to let go of, offloading some of the burden onto them, and getting that support and that communication. A lot of times, even coaching is just being a listening ear. It's interesting that coaching is like one of the simplest things to do, the simplest things to be, and it's also can create so much more than what we ever imagined, because of how rewarding it could be, because we can be a service to people who are suffering in ways that we don't even understand. It's also good for our own health. One of the biggest things is because with coaching is that, if we think about stress, most people experience stress in different ways. We talk about life harmony, and we talk about what are the stresses that are impacting them on the side of life, and what are the stresses that are impacting them on the side of business. Where is the stress coming from? Well, as they are able to communicate and express what's going on, you start to have this significant increase in stress reduction and stronger relationships. And whereas it may have been stressful, they are now finding more harmony. So there becomes less negative emotions: anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, less overreactions of what may be going on around them. Because here's the thing: what we think and we feel, we do. So a lot of people right now, it's easy for us to be able to do even unwanted behaviors because of how we're feeling. So where some people may be freaked out by being at home, other people may enjoy it. But one of the things that's also happening is that, how are we going to support people in dealing with a lot of the grief and loss that has happened? And then the cool thing about coaching as well, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, but it's a win-win situation. It helps you create emotional wisdom, strengthen that relationship with yourself and other people. This is some of the things we can do. There's no coffee required. It's natural energy. And then we allow people to be able to create that authenticity, joy, and happiness that they desire and seek. So just briefly, what is life coaching? Because some of you may have heard of the topic of life coaching, but may not necessarily know exactly what it is. It's really a simple process where it's partnering with the client and providing something that's or supporting them in a thought-provoking process. and a process where it inspires them to maximize their potential personally and professionally, meaning that it allows them to be able to get clarity on what's going on in their current situation, and figure out what there are the things and actions that need to be taken and what options do they have with moving forward. We are all basically just bridging the gap from where they are to where they want to be and supporting them along the way. Now, let me see here if I have, because my chat is over here. Where is my chat? Okay. Any questions so far? Let's see. Okay. Okay, cool. So no questions so far. Okay, great. All right. One of the best ways to making the most of your skills to help people and earn money is for being a coach. It also helps a person change the way that they wish, so helping them go in the direction that they want to go, and supporting that person at every level for becoming who they are and what they want to be. Now, there's so many different people that work with life coaches. Pretty much anyone can work with a life coach, especially those that are motivated towards achieving a goal that they've been having difficulty in. Entrepreneurs constantly seek life coaches to be able to level up. Executives, business leaders, actors, musicians, creative people. So you have such a big genre of different people that you can be able to work with. And the cool thing about it is that you can create who you desire to serve however you want to in this business. So if there's a gap between where they are now and where do they want to be, then there's always going to be room for life coaching. And there's so many things that you can work with your clients on. I'm just going to go over this list. But just think about it as we're going over it. What are some of the things that maybe you've overcome, or some expertise that you have that you could be able to support people with? Setting and achieving goals, planning and objectives, planning maybe for their business, career, or life, blasting through obstacles and fears, things that that you have overcome, that you can be able to support someone who hasn't got there yet or is trying to achieve something that you already done. Clearing clutter, financial security and independence, balancing business and personal life. That's really where we specialize in. Communicating powerfully, starting a business, becoming a problem-free zone, building powerful relationships, breaking through the glass ceiling, getting promoted. Let's see, hold on a second. I got another person coming in. All right, come on in. For those of you who had came in, put in the chat like that you didn't hear our roll call. Put in the chat where you're coming from. I would love to be able to know. We have Virginia in the house. We have North Carolina. We have Maryland. We have Florida. Pretty awesome. Okay. So getting promoted, finding a business or ideal career or work or business, finding an ideal partner, an ideal love, getting out of a rut, making an important transition. Life is just full of transitions. The only constant is change. So one of the things you may want to write down definitely is that two things. Change requires change. Change requires change. And the only constant is change. But what happens is we get so caught up in not wanting to change. And as coaches, even if we don't want to change, we start to become comfortable with the process of change. That's why when these things happen, like this epidemic now, or this pandemic, it didn't necessarily shake us, because with coaching, we allow our clients to grow into who they want to be. There's a difference between our self-worth and our net worth. Okay. So like, but a lot of times we equate our self-worth to our net worth. And that's what a lot of people are struggling with right now. But the thing is, like, our self-worth is not what we do, it's who we are. Right? So we're being that support network, and when you have coaches, and I'm going to share with you a couple of testimonials that just came in like a couple of days ago. One just came in like 3 hours ago. But when you have people and we hear how much we transformed, or just by asking the right question, it totally shifted their way of thinking about something that made their life so much better. That's what makes it worth it. That's what makes it totally worth it. So now, as you look at this list, there's so many things, and we don't have to be perfect. By no means is Dr. Heather perfect. Dr. Heather is definitely a work in progress, and it's a beautiful journey, and I'm enjoying the journey. Because here's what makes an awesome life coach. So this is for you. What makes an awesome life coach? Simple. An awesome life coach really, one of the biggest things also is listening, but facilitating, defining goals. Where do we want to go? Supporting, helping them explore options on how they can get there, because there's always options, right? And designing their strategic plans. Basically, what's the plan on what we're going to get, how we're going to get there, and monitoring progress and holding them accountable the whole time. So basically, we support and guide the client to their next level, and we're like basically like their number one cheerleader. One of the things that I love about coaching and teaching and training is that it's almost like it's a partnership where it's like leaders developing leaders. We learn and we grow together. We have that support for each other. That is a very beautiful thing, because a lot of people, one of the things I hear a lot of times is that feeling of unsupported, that feeling of nobody understands who I am or what I'm going through, that feeling of loneliness. And to be able to be that one that says, hey, we hear what you're going through. We see what you're going through. And you know what? There's glory on the other side, and we're going to be able to get you there, right? Side by side. Okay, that was my little plug. But now let me tell you this other cool thing. The becoming a model of excellence. So we have this thing where we talk about be the warrior, be the one who it's almost creates that life harmony, becomes that example that we wish to see, and being okay with where we are now, and enjoying that journey. So therefore we can be the one to be of service to others, and then be that connection to be able to get them to where they need to go. One of the things I love is I love being able to see my students go farther than me. The desire is for them to go, because we all have like our visions or our callings, and some of these callings are so big that they have to grow. And so our clients, and this is actually goes to my next slide right here. You only need two things to be an awesome coach: a desire to help others, like we talked about earlier, and a willingness to help them grow to become a bigger and better version of to help yourself grow to become a bigger and better version of yourselves. That means like you desire to learn, you desire to improve, and granted, one of the projects that I'm doing is talking about feeling like insignificant to most sought after. So one of the things I usually hear from coaches is like, or even aspired coaches, who am I to do this? Who am I to be able to inspire and lead other people when I'm barely trying to figure out how to lead myself? Like, and I tell them, you know what? It's all good, because we only have to be one step ahead of the people that we help. Like, it's okay not to be okay. Life is a journey. Life is a lesson. We must follow its instruction, and love will always conquer and win all. So we have to let our love rise above our fear and step into this. Now, let's talk about what I promised you. I promised you that I was going to share with you the benefits of becoming a coach in 3 ways: personally, professionally, and financially. Okay, here we go. Let's make sure I got everybody. Okay, I'm in the chat. Cool. Okay, personally, this is a really, really, really powerful. This was where I kind of get really choked up, y'all. So hopefully y'all can appreciate the energy level boost, because I just love talking about this so much. Because the biggest reward, we want to be able to have, like, if we're going to be spending like 8 hours a day on something or less, we want it to be something that feels meaningful, where we feel valued, where we see the immediate reward in the work that we've done. So serving personally, you get to serve your life purpose. If you kind of were pulled to this call already, there's already probably a calling deep within you on, like, okay, I'm ready to be of service. And I know that it's almost like, so I talk about how everyone has a lion inside, but a lot of times it's like a little baby lion trying to roar, but it really is a really big lion. But sometimes knowing that big lion can be a little overwhelming. Well, the cool thing is that we support you in being able to step into that giant and actually do this fully, with confidence, courageousness, bravery, and fearlessness, because reminding you that the reward is so great. Okay, so not only is it rewarding because I'm serving my life purpose, but it's also an honor. It's a beautiful thing to be able to honor another person's life purpose and all that they've called to be able to do. It's like when my clients give me that vision of where they would like to see themselves a month from now, I'm already seeing them in my mind already there. And it's like I'm just basically supporting them as they're getting in that, with that image already in my head, knowing that they were called and destined for amazing things. And they also were fearfully and wonderfully made. Encouraging others without passing judgment. Really beautiful thing. To be able to really listen, to be able to really hear, to be able to realize that we've all had things that we wish we would have done, we could have done, or we wish we would have did better. The biggest thing is we're all just trying to do the best in life, and we're doing the best that we can with the resources that we have available. We've all experienced pain, we've all experienced hurt, we've all experienced some sort of life lesson that we still may be trying to figure out. But what if I told you that everything that's happened, a lot of times we wonder, like, what happened to us? What happens to us? What if I told you that everything is really happening for us? And this part sometimes sucks, because at first I'm like, why did I have to go through all this craziness? I don't understand. But the reality is, the bigger our calling, sometimes the more stuff that we have to go through. So therefore we can be able to support and show other people who's also going through the things, like, you know what, if I went through it, you can go through it too. And if I'm on the other side, you can get on the other side also. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay, cool. Yes. All right, so perfect. So encouraging others without judgment. Helping individuals perform at their highest levels, stepping into that bigger, better version like we talked about. Assisting others to live in the possibilities, knowing that anything is possible. So for me, I'm a Christian. I love the Lord, and one of his things he says is, I can do anything, all things through Christ who strengthens me. All of the possibilities are us. But guess what happens? In my own mind, he tells me that, but then when I go in my mind, I'm like, wait, I don't understand. Where are the possibilities? So it's almost about supporting them to being able to unleash all the possible limitations and seeing all the possible options. Also supporting our clients in professional endeavors and offering clarity through coaching, guiding others to awareness in their personal lives. So here is the bonus. Are you ready? This is a win-win situation. This is a double bonus because all of these things work for our lives as well. Meaning that being a life coach is a win for you, It's a win for them, and it's a win for the world because both worlds are positively impacted. What do I mean by Dr. Heather? What do you mean by this? Okay. Let me tell you what I mean. Whenever we have a coaching situation or a coaching session, there's never a coincidence of who we're coaching. So one of the key secrets that I usually do after I work with someone is, okay, what was the message in this for me? And there's always a message. There's always a message for, so it's almost like if they get their breakthrough and then afterwards I'm getting my breakthrough, I'm like, okay, cool. And then what's really cool is both worlds, their world and our world, is now possibly even more impacted because of just that conversation. If that makes sense. Yes? Cool. So relationships all around go better. Okay, so let me share with you these 2 testimonials that just came in 2 days ago. Well, one came in 2 days ago or a day ago. I can't remember. I've been on the phone all day. Either a day ago, and then the other one just came in 3 hours ago. So check this out. Before coming to Dr. Heather, I used to get let a lot of things bother me. Now I don't dwell on or stress about things as before. I feel more in the flow of business and life with better time management and control. I didn't think that such progress could be made so quickly. I'm now stronger and standing in my power, level-headed. Coaching with Dr. Heather was a very valuable experience. I see a big difference and I can truly feel the energy that I have now, not just physical, but all around. Just hearing it again makes me feel so good. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Okay. Okay, so for those of y'all who know me, I'm a little funny. Life is too short. Life is too short. I used to be very serious. I used to be like this very serious person. But yeah, I learned like, no, life is too short. You gotta carpe diem, seize the world, and enjoy the journey while you're doing it. Right now, I'm being of service, and it's a beautiful thing. Okay, are you ready for the second one? Yes? Okay, so this one just came in. I took a course in life coaching with Dr. Heather to better my skills as a communicator. She was a fountain of good advice, and I didn't realize that I would gain such a support system as well. I realized my own power in a dark place. In turn, I was able to find the help and support my disabled combat veteran husband needed that saved his life. Over a year's time, I saw how this experience had led my life to healing and to a new career that I wasn't aware even existed. Thank you for everything, Dr. Heather. Rachel V. Now, when I hear that, oh my God, it feels so good. So let me tell you, right? Like the battles where we're fighting against the odds sometimes. We're fighting against the odds sometimes in our businesses, in our workplaces, in our marriages. So this is also a fellow veteran's wife who is struggling with the difficulties of PTSD from her husband. And it was through life coaching skills, literally, the story was that it was life or death in that moment. Because we have about 22 veterans per day, ladies and gentlemen, committing suicide or more right now. We have about 90% of combat veterans getting divorced and losing their whole family structure because of the mental and emotional turmoil that they don't understand. So there's a big need because it's not even just veterans that are dealing with PTSD. A good portion of us all have had experienced our own trauma with significant emotional events, not just individually, but look at this collectively right now. This is a collective post-traumatic stress situation for the whole world, right? And then this was just one incident. We've had 9/11. We've had the recession. We have all of these different things that happen. But there's a beauty in supporting people to be able to say, well, you know what, I can't control the things that are happening fully, but I can control how I respond to them. And I can control the things that I can control. And I can let go and let God be able to do the rest of the work. And then I take my action on what I'm supposed to do. How simple is that? We make it so complicated sometimes. But through coaching, we allow people to be able to see, you know what? This isn't all there is. There's so much more. And it's up to you to be able to figure it out. And I'm right here to be able to support you in figuring it out. Okay, so professionally, because I know we're on time a little bit. Professionally, better, I put this, better than a PhD without the years of schooling. Meaning that probably if I was in undergrad or whatever, I don't even know if I would have continued on and I discovered coaching. I think I would have just stopped there. Because adding to your existing profession or your business, it fosters easier communication with your team, with your customers, with your family, with your friends. I don't know about for you, but sometimes our most intimate relationships can be the most difficult. Well, the beautiful thing about coaching is that it literally is the hands down best form of communication. I use coaching questions with my parents to help them go deeper. I use it with my children. It's amazing. I use it with my husband. Shh, don't tell him. He already knows because he's a coach too. But basically, communication goes up. Also, an extra stream of income. And because people are going to come to you. As you step into this fully, it's almost like I can go anywhere and people are asking me, or sometimes they just come up and start talking. And I'm like, okay, here we go. And and I teach us how to be able to kind of deal with that, because it's a beautiful thing. Yes, we want to be able to support them, and we also want to be able to support ourselves, stay in that truth as well. And so we talk about these things on how to be able to create that resiliency and love. So therefore, when people come, how to be ready to receive them, because they will come. If you build it, they will come. This is like the field of dreams. The field of dreams is possible. Okay. I'm going to stop. Okay, so if you want to start a new life coaching business, life coaching leads, this is probably the biggest thing here. Life coaching leads to many other opportunities. So it's not just one thing. It's speaking, teaching, consulting, being an author. It's an easy business to implement that produces great results, and it produces ripple effects that last a lifetime, like you had saw right there with those testimonials. Financially, a certified life coach salary ranges between $27,000-ish and $210,000-ish. Now, the average life coach salary in North America is $61,900. And the average life coach salary globally is $51,000. Now, the thing I want you to think about is, what could you do with an extra $50K? How could you support your world, your family, your community, right? Like the possibilities are endless, because what happens is it becomes this reciprocal process. One of the reasons I used to run away from money, I was always good at making money, but I also was good at like saying, no, money, go away, right? So I was on this rabbit hole. But when I started doing this, embracing and opening my heart to receive, and also opening my heart to forgive, it becomes this cyclic process. So the more that I earn, the more that I can be able to be of service, and the more that I can be able to give back to my community. Now, these numbers, yes, they may look impressive. It all depends on the level of work that we do. So for in the beginning, I was a little dilly-dallying. I was halfway in, I was halfway not. And then I started realizing this when I started becoming serious about the calling. And honestly, there's so many people that make so much more. We don't even have to have a great past to have a great future. I know a 7-figure coach that basically, started from nothing, started from nothing. Like, and then not only just nothing, but also like had the most horrible experiences where society would have written him off. And there was a time where he written himself off. And now he's shining and rising and doing so much for so many other people. So it's about being of service. Okay. What now? I'm gonna share with you this, and then I'll entertain any questions that you definitely have. So hopefully you wrote down some cool questions. Okay, so grow with me. Let me share with you what I have, the life coaching certification that is coming up right now. Okay, so we specialize in life harmony. The life harmony is the core. The core of it is emotional intelligence. So one of the biggest things that gets in people's way, and actually let me put all this down so if you're on your computer, you can actually go to this website. I'm going to pull it up in a moment. But basically, not only do you get a certification as a life coach, you also get a certification as a holistic emotional intelligence expert. And we do this in just 6 weeks. Now, this class was designed so therefore we only meet a couple times a week, and it's after hours. So I think it's Tuesday, Thursday, I think 7 to 9. So it's after hours, and we take it in bite-sized pieces. But we also get a certification as a holistic emotional intelligence expert. And the reason why we're specializing in the emotions part is because it's our emotions that prevent, either make or break our success. And a lot of this stuff is deep down in the unconscious that a lot of people don't even know. So that's how we talk about all dimensions of health, including financial health, physical health, emotional health, how we can use emotional wisdom to even restore our own health and immunity right now. I just want to put a plug or just say something about this coronavirus has primarily attacked the minority community. And so this is kind of just to give you kind of the example of where this is. Our emotions, not only the emotions that we have from our own life, but also our emotions of our parents and all of that ancestral stuff still comes along with what's going on. So one of the reasons why we have such a difficulty with our own health, even within the minority community, is because of a lot of the linkage of even past trauma, stuff that didn't even impact us. But then how does it play into even now? So in this class, we talk about that. We talk about, okay, where do these leakages come from, and how can we work with our clients to be able to unlink them? Okay, so let me show you this really cool, pretty. Can you see the landing page? Yes. Yes, it's like
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so this is the landing page that you would go to. It's anotherlevellive.co/lifecoachcert3. And basically it talks about this whole process, what it is. And I have this quote here: "For the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." Okay, so listen, life coaching is about bringing the hope, for the future, not only for ourselves, but also for the people around us that don't see hope or don't know what the vision is, or don't, or even it's probably such a block. Like, I remember the first time I had asked someone, where do they see themselves 6 months from now? And they told me, I actually grew up never even looking at what the future would look like because I wasn't sure whether I was going to make it the next day. They had grew up in the inner city where they had no resources and they had no hope. But now you can see how this is really the restoration of hope. So it's a couple of options. Like right now, this class I've offered at $19.97. I actually broke it down to $9.97, and then even 3 payments of $367. It tells you what the benefits are for the class. It tells you why you would want to do this training with us. You also get a bonus, especially if you pay in full, another session with me. And then I have this one philosophy that I talk about. And we're going to talk about it in the class as well. And it really is about that leadership, becoming the one. Becoming the one, so therefore we can be the one for other people as well as ourselves. And there's some testimonials here, and then you have those options. So going back, and then you know what? If this is something that you definitely are interested in, send me an email. Here is the next. Okay, minimize that. All right. Mute everybody. Okay. All right. So, if you now want to know any questions that you have, and also, so let me go ahead. I'm gonna unmute yourself. Tell me what questions you have. So, not only just about the training, but also about coaching in general and what I've shared with you. Don't be shy. Anyone?
Yeah, I don't have any questions so far. You actually answered everything. I was taking a few notes just about the general concepts about, yeah, perspective definitely matters, and everyone does go through hardships, and there's big things you can celebrate too, but it's all about figuring out a way to, like you said, push through. So yeah, I don't have any questions. I'm just going to keep absorbing the website, but I definitely have loved what I've heard.
Perfect. Now tell me, what was your biggest take? I want to know, what was your biggest takeaway for those of you who are here with me? What was your biggest takeaway from this so far?
Dr. Heather, I'd like to say something. I think I'm looking at it from a different perspective since I've already taken your training. And it's interesting to come back because, we need those refreshers. But I'll share with everyone my biggest takeaway, being able to look at it after going through the class, is that we have people that come to us that have a need. And a lot of times we don't know how to balance or deal with the things that we're dealing with while trying to help others. And Dr. Heather does a dynamic job of helping the class free themselves, becoming delivered from those things that hinder us so that we can be more effective in what we do every day. As she said, all of us probably do what we do daily, but we really haven't been prepared for it in a manner where we're able to look at ourselves and go through a process that allows us to become more effective. She talked about self-worth. That was very key. Who we are and not what we do. We are who we are and not what we do. And so many times people try to define us based on what they think we do and who they think we are. We have to stand firm in knowing who we are. Is that self-worth is who we are and not what we do. She also talked about being able to look at situations as happening for us and not to us. And it's really just changing your perspective so that you can become more powerful in what God has already placed inside of us to be a benefit to society.
I love it, Tanya. Thank you so much, and thank you for sharing your perspective about the class. She was in our first cohort. She's also one of the co-authors of The Voice of Hope. Yay! I'm so excited. And you know what? That means a lot because it is a journey. It is a journey. I don't know if you've heard of the hero's journey. Have any of you heard of the hero's journey? Let me hold on. I'm gonna share this with you all real quick because this will basically, let's see, the hero's journey. All right, here we go. What is the hero's journey? Let me say what is. Hold on. What is? Okay, what is the hero's journey? Here's what we got. The hero's narrative is a common archetype or story and template that involves a hero going on an adventure, learns a lesson, wins the victory with that newfound knowledge, and then returns home transformed. Um, then here's another one. It's a tale of a character who ventures out to get what's needed, faces conflict, and ultimately triumphs over adversity. It's almost like coaching becomes that hero's journey because, I'm totally not who I am. Shoot, like I was even say a year ago or even 5 years ago. I remember being so terrified of being on stages. Earl is one of my dearest best friends, and it's been 20 years. 20 years, right? 20 years. Wow, time flies, or at least. And so who I was then is totally different. And that's the thing about coaching, is that it's almost like being that service for other people, and then also allowing that service to reflect in you, and allowing that also to be able to be of service for you as yourself, improving yourself, because the goal is to rise out of the ashes.
I have a question.
Yes.
My name is Brenda. Is this an accredited course, and is there other courses that are required over time with this program?
So that is a great question. Yes. So if you haven't heard of the International Coaching Federation, the International Coaching Federation is the one federation that deals specifically with coaches and life coaching and that credentialing process. And a lot of people don't have, like, they can become a certified life coach and they cannot go through that credentialing process, or they can. Our program right now is in the final stages of their approval process. It's already been through its pre-accreditation process, and now the last part is they basically want the final submission of what was the outcome of the previous class. So they want you to teach a couple classes first. This is actually our 4th time teaching this class. And so the second question that you had asked was, is there something that's required after this class? Not at all. You can be able to take this class and stop there and totally have everything that you would need. If you desire to be able to take another level, we actually have additional options to be able to improve and redefine and step up and level up your skill as well. And we don't leave you after. A lot of programs are kind of like a one-off thing where after they're done, then okay, forget you. But not really forget you, but they're kind of moving on to the next person. Well, we believe in making sure that there's many avenues, so therefore you can have continuous support if you desire to and if you choose to. But after the certification, you will have everything that you need to be able to go and start your coaching business with no problem. And the last thing was about the credentialing, that process. So for so long, that, like, one of the reasons that people want to go through ICS is if they want to do government contracting or work with big time corporations or stuff like that, where they want to see that credential. And that's a choice, that's an option. So basically after the class, that this class will give you the training hours to be able to apply for that certification if you desire. But like I said, you can either do it with or without it. Does that make sense? Did I answer it correctly?
Yeah, it absolutely makes sense. I guess I was normally, if there's some type of credentialing process, there's additional courses over time that you have to take to maintain that. So that's why I was asking.
You don't have to. No, it's a one-time permanent thing. You will always be that certification. And the only reason, so I'm a continuous learner. Like, I just love to learn and absorb information, and I continuously want to grow because I can only take my clients and students as high as I go. So the higher I go, the higher I can take them. And so that's one of the reasons why I continue to prove my skills. But the cool thing is, if that's the option that you want to do, we totally got your back with that, because our desire is to help support our coaches in being the best versions of themselves as well. Hashtag heal the planet. Thank you, Brenda, for your question.
No problem. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there options for making up any sessions you miss?
Great question. Okay, so what we have, and we have it where it will be recorded. So if you miss a couple of our sessions here, the goal is to be able to be there fully during that time, be present. But we do have people that sometimes have to work, or there's different obligations that show up. So we will have the sessions available after like the class, and usually the next day I send out, here's the recording, here was the homework. And then you just got to be a little bit more diligent of like catching up. And I take it in bite-sized pieces. My desire is not to overwhelm or stress people out. It's actually quite the opposite, is to take all the pressure off.
Okay, sounds great.
Thanks. And you know what? I'll tell you that this is gonna probably, if this is something that you're definitely looking at, is that it's definitely probably the time that you want to take action on it now. I'm not gonna do it like this breakdown of 6 weeks, the 6-week expansion time. We're actually switching it into a much more condensed course. And so there's advantages for both sides, but with this one, you actually get most of my time. Because over the 6 weeks, we're going to be having breakthroughs after breakthroughs after breakthroughs that are just going to happen. They're just going to continue to happen, which is cool. And then you'll be able to integrate all of that over that period of time. So let me put in the chat here that link. So there, and where did my chat go? Chat, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna put in the chat the link for y'all to go to. And you know what? Another reason why that I have this payment plan, because I also know that it is difficult right now. But it's almost like, are we worth it? And are you worth it? So thank you all so much for this time. I know it is 7:03. I'm not gonna take up any more of your time. Let me go ahead and stop this recording.